Good evening, everyone. Distinguished members of the Consular Corps, distinguished faith and community leaders who have joined us today. Dear friends, thank you so much for being here tonight with us and sharing this commemoration with us. Thank you very much. And I'd like, of course, thank Rabbi Abraham Cooper, my dear friend, who shared beautiful remarks with earlier. We deeply value and appreciate Rabbi Cooper's friendship and the friendship of the Simon Wiesenthal Center to Azerbaijan. We have gathered here tonight to commemorate and honor the victims of the Khojaly Tragedy, which was the first genocide in Europe after the end of the Cold War, actually before Srebrenica. So namely on February 25th to 26th, 1992, a town called Khojaly in Azerbaijan's Nagorno-Karabakh region was besieged and invaded by the armed forces of neighboring Armenia. During this invasion, over 600 unarmed Azerbaijani civilians and residents of Khojaly were murdered by the Armenian armed forces. Over 300 of those victims were children, women, and the elderly. Even little infants were not spared. Their only sin was being Azerbaijani. Many children lost either one or both parents, becoming orphans. Over 1,000 civilians were taken captives and subjected to inexplicable torture and brutality in the torture camps. Considered by many as an example of modern-day genocide, the Khojaly massacre challenges what we thought would never happen. The international organization Human Rights Watch called this tragedy the largest massacre in the conflict between Armenia and Azerbaijan, reporting about unconscionable acts of violence against civilians and placing direct responsibility for this tragedy with Armenian forces. Unfortunately, the tragedy befalling the Azerbaijani people in the early 1990s did not end with Khojaly. Armenia went further and invaded around 20% of Azerbaijan's sovereign territory, expelling 800,000 Azerbaijanis from their homes and lands, who are still refugees in their own country, scattering around the rest of Azerbaijan, and who are still yearning for the day to go back to their homes and lands. Internationally, the worldwide awareness about the Khojaly genocide has dramatically increased, especially during the last decade. An effective international campaign named Justice for Khojaly, launched in 2008 and led by Ms. Leyla Aliyeva, the Vice President of the Heydar Aliyev Foundation, has been instrumental in mobilizing joint efforts aimed at raising international awareness about Khojaly. And a growing number of countries, from Czech Republic, Bosnia and Herzegovina to Pakistan, Colombia, Peru, Mexico, and others, have officially recognized and condemned Khojaly. Moreover, 23 US states, including 7 in our consular district, have recognized and commemorated the Khojaly massacre. Armenian leaders, unfortunately, barely deny the facts of Khojaly and have been found in several cases to openly admit and even boast about this tragedy. Serge Sargsyan, the former president of Armenia, openly bragged about the Khojaly massacre, admitting the responsibility for it. Seyran Ohanyan, the defense minister of Armenia and the commander of Armenian troops during the invasion of Khojaly, was being held as a national hero in the country. February 26, 2019 will mark the 27th anniversary of the Khojaly massacre. None of the perpetrators has been brought to justice. All of them remain at large, enjoying their freedoms as if nothing ever happened. We must remember what happened in Khojaly for the mourners left behind by victims and the survivors. In an even larger sense, we must remember such brutal tragedies so that we can ensure they did not happen again. The killers, criminals, the terrorists, they don't have any religion, they have no religions. No one following the true essence of Abrahamic religions can kill a person, because killing a person is tantamount to killing the entire humankind. Azerbaijan has tried to recover from the atrocities and illegal occupation. Under President Ilham Aliyev, today Azerbaijan has become the largest economy in the region. Most importantly, Azerbaijan has become a place of interfaith harmony, peace, and acceptance. A place where Muslims, Christians, Jews, Baha'is, and other faiths live together in peace and mutual respect. Azerbaijan today is building churches and rebuilding churches, synagogues, mosques, even restoring the Armenian church in downtown Baku, our capital. When the Armenian Catholicos visited Azerbaijan a few years ago, he was deeply impressed and amazed by the conditions of this Armenian church. In another sign of our commitment to interfaith harmony, we are providing free natural gas to all churches, synagogues, and mosques in Azerbaijan, but not only in Azerbaijan, also in neighboring Christian Georgia, which also include all Armenian churches in the Republic of Georgia. Despite the occupation and ethnic cleansing of Azerbaijan's lands by neighboring Armenia, around 30,000 Armenians still live peacefully in Baku, our capital, and other major towns and cities of the country, which is another indication of high-level tolerance and multiculturalism inherent to Azerbaijani people. Azerbaijan wants peace. Azerbaijan wants its refugees to be able to go back to their homes. And we are working hard on our end to achieve this goal, to achieve peace. And I must say, there is a new momentum in the region to finally resolve this long-standing conflict between Armenia and Azerbaijan. The criminal regime that ruled Armenia for 20 years, till the last year's Velvet Revolution, is gone. That junta regime was in no way interested in resolving this conflict, which has tremendously damaged both our nations and the entire region. The last few months, however, have witnessed an unprecedented level of tranquility and calm on the front line. We hope that with the new government in place in Yerevan, in Armenia, it will finally be possible to bring peace to Armenian and Azerbaijani people. And I'm sure one day, and that day is not far away, we will see both Azerbaijani and Armenian communities of Nagorno-Karabakh living together side by side, peacefully, as they did for many centuries before.